Hey there, fellow tennis junkies. Today we're going to be looking at Volkl Cyclone. Is it a good string? Does it get a ton of spin? Is it a cyclone? Let's get into it. I'm gonna have some point play, some match play playing over all this while I kind of talk about my thoughts on the string. So I decided to go and review Volkl Cyclone just because of the price. It's only $9 on Tennis Warehouse, and that is just a steal. So I've seen a ton of junior players out there using it, and I was like, I'm kind of interested in trying this out. It's got that bright neon yellow, so of course it sticks out on the court. That's probably the most popular color. I think it also comes in orange and black and a couple other colors, but I mean, for $9, that's a pretty good deal. So right off the bat, I want to say this is not my favorite string, but that could be just because of my personal playstyle. It just felt a little stiff, hollow feeling. I don't really know what to compare it to. This was definitely a different feeling for me. I strung it at 32.5 pounds like I do all my string whenever I review rackets. I know it sounds crazy, but it's what I play with, so it's what I tend to string up my review string with. And it felt okay. Stringing it up, it was sharp. I noticed it almost instantly. I took it out of the package and the string was sharp. So I was expecting a ton of spin. I kind of expected a lot of power from it as well. I really didn't get the vibe of a majorly control string, but I wasn't really sure what to expect, honestly. I've just seen a lot of junior players using it, probably because of the price point. I'm not too sure if Volkl gives out sponsorships and stuff, but I'm sure that those junior players have found ways to get it even cheaper. So I was just kind of expecting a mid-range, you know, $9 string. I would say right off the bat, if you need a budget polyester, this might be your option. It's definitely not my favorite string in the world, but for the price, it's kind of hard to beat. I mean, $9 for a set's really not that bad, especially if you string your own rackets. I mean, only $9, but if you're taking it to a stringer that's 29, 30, 35, kind of depending on whatever they charge for labor. So that price point is pretty hard to beat, but is it worth it? I'm not sure, to be honest. For me personally, it's definitely not worth it. I was not a fan of that stiff, hollow feeling. It felt awkward. It just didn't feel, I don't know, it just didn't really work for me. But I see how these other junior players are fans. The reason I think that this works so well with so many juniors is the way it just allows you to swing really big. It's not a super power string. It's a fairly decent spin string. So I totally see if you have a long stroke, if you have a super high take back, super long take back, this could be a really good option for you because it melds really, really well if you're keeping the ball in the string for a really long time. For me, I have a pretty compact swing depending on the situation. We all know. If you guys have seen my other videos, I'm very erratic, so you never really know. But I've been trying to transition to a more compact swing, and I found myself struggling a little bit to get the power. The spin was definitely there, but it just didn't have the kind of response I was really looking for. So if you play with that super compact swing, I might move on to the next one. But if you're a junior player or one of those like 4.0, 4.5 adult players who plays with a pretty big backswing, pretty long stroke, I would definitely take a look at it, because just based off the price point, I mean, you got very little to lose whenever you're testing on string. It's $10. So I think that's kind of what Volkl Cyclone has going for it. I totally understand the appeal, especially because it does give you spin. It does give you some good control. The feel, I was not a fan of the feel. At the net, hated it. I'm just gonna be honest, I hated the feel at the net. Watching some reviews on YouTube, some people loved it at the net. I didn't. I'm definitely not the best net player in the world, but I just felt awkward and uncomfortable. And I think because of that hollow feeling that I got whenever I was going for those little like half volleys or those volleys that came to my feet, it just didn't feel good. It just felt awkward. It felt like, I don't know, I was definitely not a fan of that. But from the baseline, I was able to kind of tolerate that hollow, stiff, awkward feeling for the spin and the control, and that was very nice. Talking a little bit more about the spin, this one definitely was a sharp string. It gripped the ball pretty well. That was nice. It did grip the ball. If you guys have seen my Headlinks tour video, you know that I loved how long the ball would stay on the string for that. I didn't get as much of that feeling on this one, but I was pleasantly surprised at the amount of spin that I got. It felt very natural. It wasn't this super awkward, like launchy ball that was like rainbowing over the net, but it also wasn't a laser. It was a good neutral ball that it was helping me create, just because it was giving me the extra help with the spin to kind of bring the launch angle down, bring the ball down, and that was pretty nice. So from the baseline, I would vote for this string. If you're a baseline player, this could be a really good one for you. If you like to play the net, play a lot of doubles, things like that, I probably would shy away from this one. I mean, it's worth a shot. It's only 10 bucks, but I don't know. That weird stiff hollow feeling just didn't gel with me. I know that some people really like that feeling, and so if you do, and you know what I'm talking about, if you like that feeling, you know what feeling I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to explain it. If you like it, great, go for it. This is definitely worth a shot. But for me, I really like a much more solid feel at the net. And this string just didn't really provide it. In terms of comfortability, it really wasn't bad. It didn't hurt my arm at all. It felt comfortable. I mean, I am stringing it at 32.5 pounds. But I mean, compared to the other strings I've been using, it was nice. It didn't hurt my arm, but it did have that weird hollow feeling that I just can't get past it. I just can't stand a string with that feeling. So I just was not really in love with how this one felt. In terms of durability, the string was pretty solid. I didn't have any problems with notching or anything, even though it was really sharp. I think what you're gonna lose is you're gonna have a big tension drop off before you actually have the string snap. In terms of durability, I don't think you're gonna be popping this string kind of left and right unless you're a massive hitter. In terms of durability, I don't think you're gonna be popping this string left and right. I think what's gonna happen quicker is a tension drop off. That tension drop off is kind of what killed me on this one. At that 8 or 9 hour mark, I started to, personally anyway, I started to feel like absolutely no control. The string just started just trampolining. It was a nightmare. But honestly, I mean, like, you're basically paying like $1 an hour for this string, which is honestly a pretty good deal whenever you think about it. If you can keep the string lasting 8 or 9 hours of play, that's pretty good. Again, it wasn't a case of breaking. The durability was good in terms of, is the string gonna break on me? But I just think that the playability, the tension loss was just too much for me to handle, and I definitely would have just restrung it at about hour 9, personally. But I do hit pretty big serves, do hit pretty big. So for some people, if you're not a huge hitter, you likely can make it last a little bit longer, but I don't know, that tension drop off was pretty steep. I definitely noticed it, where I was just like playing, and then I hit one ball and I just kind of like felt something kind of give. I hit another one and it just flew, and from that point forward, I really struggled to keep my control with it. If you're looking for budget strings, this one should definitely be on your radar. This one wasn't for me, just because of that hollow feeling, but for people who don't even notice it, or people who don't mind it at all, this one could be a real winner for you. Just because I personally didn't like it doesn't mean that it's not going to fit your game style, not going to fit your play style. But I mean, if you're looking at that budget list, this should be up there for you. I mean, it's honestly, you get good spin, you get pretty good control, not much pop, but that kind of comes with the control piece. The playability, 9-10 hours, pretty good. It's not really going to break on you, so if you don't really mind that, no problem. You can play with it past that 10-hour mark. And then, you know, it's 10 bucks for a set. Like, you don't really find deals like that in tennis. You really don't. Tennis is an expensive sport, and to buy those high-end strings, it's expensive. So it's cool to come across a string so cheap that actually plays pretty well, especially from the baseline. So for your typical player, especially your typical junior player, this is gonna be a great option, because it really does allow you to play pretty well from the baseline. And I loved it from the baseline. I definitely didn't like it at the net, and that stiff hollow feeling. I wonder if Volkl has another string that doesn't have that feeling but plays similar to the Cyclone. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna need to do some research on that. But again, if you're a junior or if you're a big swinging 4-0, 4-5 player, this should be a good option for you. This could definitely work out in your favor. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this string review, make sure you drop a comment down below. Kind of let me know if you've ever played with it or things you would recommend for me to review. Make sure you guys subscribe, click the little notification bell so you can get reminded whenever I post string reviews, racket reviews, podcasts, things like that. I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'll see you in the next one.